On the real, they got some real deal analysis. Take the wheel, I think I feel like a catalyst. For this build, you know your boy is never out of it. Matter of fact, I think I'll go and win a championship. KMWO, KMWO. Man, you know how this go. Yeah. KMWO. Kick is matter, world order.
Hi boys, I think we had some issues with the video there to start with. How is everyone?
Good. Not too bad, mate. You?
Yeah, good. Welcome everyone to the Kickers Matter Fantasy Football Podcast. I am joined by my four of us in the house for the fucking first time in weeks. So how are you, Timbo? How you doing?
Good, mate. I'm good. Not as tired as you, but pretty tired, I think.
I'm all right, to be honest. Tea and coffee, mate. Tea and coffee. The caffeine diet.
Can't be doing coffee after 5. It's got to be red wine, isn't it?
Well, this is about my 10th one today. Mr. Big Deal up there in the right-hand corner. How you doing?
Good. Yeah, surviving. Yeah.
That's
Surviving.
That's all we're going to get. Lovely. Jamie, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm not too bad, thank you. Not too bad.
At least
Surviving.
nice for you, Jamie.
The weather was shit today. Pressure washing today. That's what I did.
What, in the rain?
Pressure washing.
Good fun in the rain.
It is good fun.
We are going to talk about free agents tonight. Probably a little bit too late, but we're going to do it anyway. Jamie built a spreadsheet, which is been the bane of our life because he added the column about 6:30 tonight, another column to it. So
Easy.
Well, we're going to get into that, but just a quick bit of news: the salary cap was set at $182.5 million. That is down from $198.2 million last year.
Oh.
Good luck, the Saints.
Yeah, there's a few teams that are in a lot of trouble with this.
Yeah, it should be quite interesting.
Because they'll always find a way out of it. They'll just restructure a lot of deals, bonuses.
Well,
in different ways.
the Saints are now they're not even the worst team in the league now.
Steelers?
It's the Rams.
Makes sense.
Wow.
So
They're still playing Todd Gurley, aren't they, the Rams?
Probably.
I think they're still paying Todd Gurley, and they're obviously paying a bunch of money to
Goff.
Yeah. 22.2 million cap number for Goff, 8.4 for Todd Gurley. So that's
You seen the Eagles, what they're paying Wentz for this year? I mean, $34 million for Wentz this coming season.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it's nuts.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? I'll say one thing about the Saints though. They've got their GM is one of the best in the league, in Mickey Loomis, and their kind of how they manoeuvre things is very good. But they might get it done this year, but it's not going to look pretty for the next couple of years. If all they've been doing is pushing it more and more and more down the line, which obviously they want to do while they're in kind of contention. But I just have to wait and see.
It's going to be a similar thing for the Rams. Probably 2 years down the line, they're going to be in just hell with everything. But that will sort of lead us into free agent talk. So as mentioned, Jamie did build a spreadsheet. I don't know if it's the king he's liking, to be fair, but Jamie had a go.
The fact is,
isn't it, Kingy?
It's fine. I mean,
it's fine. The fact that it's named free agent guesses says a lot for us, doesn't it? We don't have the contacts, unfortunately, in the organisations and the agents to know exactly where players are going.
Rich does. He's a big deal, isn't he? So.
He's a big deal. I've heard he orchestrates a lot of these deals via spreadsheets. He sells out to people.
Richard Rappaport.
I just put feelers out so people just see what people are thinking.
Heard about you and the Steelers.
Yeah.
So Jamie, take us into it. What is what is this thing you've created here? And
Well, it's pretty simple, isn't it? As you can all see on the screen, I've broken it up into quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends.
so all the free agents.
Not all of the free agents, kind of the ones that I kind of picked out that were on Sport Track, but obviously they're the kind of the ones that we would be more interested in, kind of offensively and for fantasy.
But you put Tevin Coleman on this list.
I did put Tevin Coleman on this list. I did.
There's a few Jamie favourites.
I also put Cam Newton on this list. Says a lot, though, doesn't it? Let's be honest.
There was quite a few that I looked at, and I wanted to put. Do not give a.
Well, I've got to put. I wanted to give some options because just otherwise we'd have literally like 5 running backs, like 4 wide receivers. You got something. We've got to get a points total. So we've all put next to each of them. We've got two guesses. If you get, so you can choose two different options. If your first guess, the player actually lands there, then you get 2 points. So it's a game basically. If you get your second option, it's 1 point. And then next to it, we've just basically put where we would want them to go for fantasy. So, and we'll talk about that more, I suspect. Are we happy for me to kind of take away the blackness on the screen and?
Well, let's name the player we're starting with. So it's Dak Prescott.
I will. I'm just highlighting. Is it going to work for me?
This is where it doesn't work at all.
No, this is working. There we go. So, Jack, you can talk through it.
Hey?
There we go. Right, let's go Dak Prescott. So, I think we've all correctly put the Dallas Cowboys as the first choice. The second choice doesn't really give a shit. No one cares about that because it's not happening. But for fantasy, we're all happy that he's staying in Dallas. Yeah,
it was the best outcome for him. I issued my dynasty rankings last week. I had that quite high last year, as a lot of you know. I think I even had him as the number 1 QB in Scott Fishbowl, which he could well have been the way he started the season. That unfortunate injury, obviously.
He was QB1. First 4 or 5 games.
But it's the best case scenario, both for the Cowboys, fantasy assets, and Dak. I put him a little bit lower this year. I had him down at 9th just because I was concerned coming off this injury, and if he was to change team and learning a new scheme, there was a little bit of concern there. But he will be moving back up now.
He should be fairly solid this year for sure.
It's quite a good deal. Well, it's obviously a great deal for him, and it's kind of fairy tale stuff. Which everyone knows his draft position and how he's come in, and it's like Willie Bean and stuff, isn't it? From what's it called, that film? But it's quite well structured. Year 1, I think we're paying $22 million this year for him, and again, just pushing that cap hit down the road. And I think it's really good for the rest of the team. My concerns are mainly around McCarthy. Hopefully, with a proper pre-season pad training, stuff like that, he can implement a lot of the scheme he wants to. He's got the right weapons there offensively. I just want to see some work done on the O-line because we've kind of let that drift the wrong way. So, but yeah, I think it's great as a Cowboys fan and it's great for fantasy.
Anyone else on Dak, or are we just going to scoot through these rest of these quarterbacks? Because none of them are really that important, are they?
No, scoot through.
Mitch Trubisky. I've got the Bears and then the Patriots. Jack's got the Niners and the Patriots. Tim's got the Bears and the Panthers. Rich has got the Pats and the Bears. For fantasy, I'm quite happy to keep him at the Bears. Jack at the Niners, Tim at the Bears, and Rich at the Niners. Jack and Rich, tell me why the Niners for you. You boys have both said the Niners for your landing spot that you would want him in fantasy to go to.
I'll let Rich go with it first.
For me, it's more the fact that I think if he goes to the Niners, he'll end up running more than he, as he did in his rookie or his second season in the league. So for me, that massively boosts his fantasy value. I also think that team can help him with having a run game, which will take the pressure off of him. And I think those two things combined would be great. With the two landing spots I put, I still think he'd have very much pressure. So some of those mistakes come back in, but I'd like him to be the Niners for fantasy, I think.
Yeah, similar views to what Rich just said there. I can't understand why the Bears got away from letting Mitch Trubisky use his legs. I don't understand why they got away from that. But they did. I just think under Shanahan, like I said, I put the Patriots there as well as my second option. I just want to go to a coach who can maybe just turn this thing around for him, maybe like a good head coach.
That's fair. Does anybody care about Cam Newton?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to ask this question for everyone, and whenever someone says yes, we will go into more depth about it. Tim, why Cam Newton?
I care about Cam because one of the first Super Bowls I properly watched was the Panthers and Broncos one. So I care about him because that's something important to me. But I genuinely still think in the right scheme, and I'd love to see him as a 49er to be honest, just because I think he's within the right scheme. He's still got a ton of value. The Pats last year just felt like they were in some kind of weird tank mode. So I'd like to see him in a place or as a really good, reliable backup. And I think
Did he mute himself?
where's that come from?
What the hell is that? That's better. No.
Has he muted himself? What's going on here?
Hello.
Can you mute him?
Who, me?
Jack.
I haven't muted you.
No, just king you with that noise. So, yeah. So I'd like to see him as a reliable backup somewhere. For me, I'm not a Dalton fan, so I'd like to see somebody like a Cam backup Dak if he was really cheap. But yeah, I think 49ers or a good reliable backup somewhere.
Okay, cool. Jameis Winston, I think we all think
He's going back to the Saints.
We all think he's going back to the Saints, and we all want him at the Saints for fantasy.
The only other option that I haven't put it here, but I thought of for Winston was the Steelers.
Which is what I've got as my number 2 choice.
Because I do think that would be a great fit, but then they went and got Dwayne Haskins in, so it seems unlikely that they'll go that route now. So yeah, Winston to stay on the Saints, and I said it on one of our pods a few weeks ago that we've done. The Saints are going to use both of them two this year. It's going to be horrible for fantasy. They're going to use Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston, and it's just going to be horrible.
I would.
It should be Jameis Winston. I will put that out there, but
I can see where you're coming from. I can see where you're coming from, but I don't think Sean Payton's that much of an idiot. Sean Payton? Payton is not an idiot.
The season though, he done it with Drew Brees. So he'd start Drew Brees in the game, and then bring Taysom Hill in as the QB and things like that.
For a play, if they bring in Taysom Hill for a play with Jameis Winston start, I'm fine with that. I just don't see Taysom Hill starting 25% of the snaps.
I think you're going to see a lot of it again.
Which side do you, Tim and Rich? Which side do you sit on? Do you think Taysom Hill's going to see, let's say, 30% of the snaps at QB, over or under? If Winston's a starter.
Whaley, I'll let you go first.
Look at this passing on.
I'll go.
Who's muting him?
I think Ridge is muting himself because I think he's having an issue with something.
This is great podcasting.
That's better. Oh, Rich is gone. That's fine. See you later, Rich.
Hi, Rich.
He's that much of a
See you
big
later.
deal.
See you later. He's that much of a
His
big
audio
deal.
tried to do it for him.
Exactly.
I want to say over just because that's what we saw last year. I
know it was with Breeze.
Yeah, but even when Breeze was out, Hill was in a lot and Winston wasn't injured. So for me, I think they've kind of shown the car. I want it to be Winston with a little bit of Taysom Hill, not 50-50 almost, but I think it's going to be 50-50 based on what we've seen.
I think we've got a beer bet coming up later on before the start of the season if Winston's named the starter, haven't we?
Yeah,
most definitely. I think we
I
definitely
don't even want to bet on that though. To be honest.
I do honestly think the Saints are going to be horrible for fantasy next season.
Kamara's
a lot lower on Alvin Kamara than a lot of people.
I think you would. I struggle to say that with Peyton. It's just really, really good. And it really hurts me to say that.
They're in cap hell. We've discussed this, and they've already cut Emmanuel Sanders today. So, he was second or third on that team last year for receptions and things. So, receiving yards. So it's and Jared Cook's a free agent. They can't bring in another tight end. They're skint. They've got no money. So they're going to have to get rid of more to get signed rookies on rookie deals. They're going to be a horrible team for fantasy.
Saints will still have a winning record next year.
I bet they don't. I'll bet you they don't.
There we go.
I'll bet you they don't.
Saints, the coaching staff is too
I'm not
good.
saying that they won't win games because I think they'll go 7-9 or something like that, but they won't have a winning record.
7-10.
I still bet they have 2 players in the top 10 in position for fantasy.
Yeah, Kamara's. I wouldn't be surprised if Kamara's top 5.
He'd still be a top 10 running back, but I don't think. I think he's being overdrafted where he's going. I've seen him go 101 in a draft.
I've never seen him go 1-on-1 this year.
Well, I've seen it.
Fucking idiot. But now that
there we go. That was all our listeners gone. Sorry about that.
What, are they all Saints fans?
Yeah. Right, let's move on.
Well, we couldn't even get a Saints fan because of you. We couldn't get one on.
Not my fault that they're a bit scared.
Where is Whaley gone? Is he just gone? Like it's just like.
Is he back on?
I don't know. He has messaged. Right, let's move on.
No one cares about Andy Dalton, do we?
No, I do. I think if he goes to this is going to be a fucking long pod, isn't it? Because we're going to be like, yeah, I do. Andy Dalton showed some stuff at the end of last season. I don't think he's particularly great anymore. Well, I don't think he's particularly ever great, but I think if he landed somewhere like the Broncos to push Drew Lock along, something like that, I think that would be good. I know Tim's going to hate me. Drew Lock's stain is coming. I like Drew Lock as well, but I do think Drew Lock needs that veteran presence behind him of an Andy Dalton or a Ryan Fitzpatrick, someone like that, to help him along.
That's fair.
And I would say Dalton. I think Dalton might start 5 or 6 games next year.
Maybe.
If he lands the Broncos.
I can see what you're saying about the Broncos. I think Washington is also another option as well for him. I think he's still got. He could still potentially be a starter elsewhere. I believe.
I think they've got Cam Newton going to Washington actually. But
I'm just trying to work out. Did him and Riverboat Ron have a falling out at any point?
I don't really know. I don't think so. I think they have a good relationship still. So.
All right, cool. Well, that's the quarterbacks. Running back, I totally forgot to do Philip Lindsay.
He's down in Denver.
Well, they probably won't have to pay him.
They've done is it the transition tag on him or whatever?
Oh yeah, he's fine. We've apart from Rich, who's got him going to the Texans. We all think he's the first option is.
What's the tag where they have to match the pick? That's basically the Broncos have done that.
Yeah.
So match the salary. No, match the salary. Sorry. Do you remember Malcolm Brown done it a few years ago? He was going to the Lions, and then the Rams matched it.
Yeah, that was a weird one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's why I put the Saints, by the way, because a cheap option for Latavius Murray going and being that aggressive downfield runner that takes some of the pressure off Kamara. I can see it because he's a really good prospect because he's so cheap.
But Latavius Murray's still signed, isn't he, to the Saints?
I thought he was leaving.
No, I think he's got 4. I think this year he goes against their cap $4 million. I think.
Yeah,
$3 million,
I thought he was cuttable without any dead money, which made him like an attractive prospect to get rid of based in the cap hell. So I think you're going to see a load of that from the Saints and then restructuring other people on cheap deals. So that'd be that's why I think Lindsay's a really good option to do that. But again, it's all rumours and just guesswork, really.
Yeah,
I think he stays in Denver. I think that's the best option for him anyway.
Yeah. If I'm brutally honest, I don't really care.
I
like him as a player, but fantasy, he's when Gordon's there, he's not. What is he at best? A flex, if that.
Yeah, and them signing Melvin Gordon tells you something as well.
Yeah,
about the player, and people mustn't forget he was undrafted. So
yeah,
there's no.
He's on cheap money.
Yeah,
or was anyway. Kenyan Drake. Who gives a crap about Kenyan Drake?
I know you like Kenyan Drake. I'm not.
Yeah,
I think he finished as the RB14 last year in fantasy, but I couldn't give a toss. He was awful, and that tells you how bad the RB position was last year. I think we've seen it now with two teams that because I think the Cardinals would be the best option for him to stay.
Yeah,
but I think they'll give up on him, and
they're going to they'll have to draft or sign someone else because Chase Edmonds ain't the guy. Chase Edmonds isn't the guy.
No, he's not.
But I think they'll sign someone. They like Chase Edmonds, but I think they'll draft someone. This is a good you can get some depth at running back this year in this class anyway.
Yeah, but they don't need depth. They need a main running back if they let Kenyan Drake go. That's the thing.
But
if they let Kenyan Drake go,
there's a lot of free agents coming up as well that you could talk about.
They're going to be cheaper than Kenyan Drake.
Yeah, they would be. Kenyan Drake's demanding money. I'm telling you now.
I'm looking.
There's two teams that have given up on him. If they give up on him in last 3 years, I've got no interest in Kenyan Drake in fantasy. I
wouldn't say giving up on him because he's asking for too much money. That's giving up.
He's asking for money that he's not worthy of because he's not that good.
Is Aaron Jones worthy of how much does he want? He wants what? What was the number that he wanted, which was ridiculous?
15
million. Is Aaron Jones worth 15 million?
No.
But didn't Kenyan Drake cost 11 in trade?
I don't know what he costs, but I don't think he's a very good running back. So,
we totally differ on Kenyan Drake. That's fair enough. We totally.
You can have all the shares in him, Jamie. That's fine.
I'm more than happy to take Kenyan Drake.
Back to Aaron Jones. Back to Aaron Jones there as well. I don't think Aaron. That came out wrong. I've called him a bad player. He's not a bad player. He plays in the NFL, but like someone like Aaron Jones. I think Aaron Jones is living off of a reputation of scoring a hell of a lot of touchdowns. 2 years ago?
Yeah.
If you look at his production last year, I don't think it's particularly good. Aaron Jones is, but
if you watch the player himself, I think he's brilliant. I think he's really, really good.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's a very good running back. But none of these players are bad.
No.
I just don't. I don't want certain. Like, I don't want Kenyan Drake on my fantasy team.
That's fine. Go and. If Jack has got Kenyan Drake on any of his fantasy teams in any league, go and find it and go and offer him a 3rd round pick because he will take it.
Do you know where Aaron Jones was ranked last year? Position ranked 5th.
I'm about to say 6th as a guess.
Yeah, but if you go back and look through his game log, Tim, there was a lot of games where he only had like 40 yards rushing, and there was 2 touchdowns in that game, which would save you. I just say it's very sketchy with Aaron Jones. He does score a lot of touchdowns, which is good. But if he moves to another team, is he going to be doing?
I tell you what's quite interesting is it correlates with his snap count. So if you look, a lot of his snap counts in the orange, and then he missed 1, 2, almost 3 games, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And his point score when he's got a higher snap count is unreal. So I think it correlates with the fact that they've got about 97 running backs for some reason there. Which
you've got Matt LaFleur as the coach, who's a moron.
Oh, there is that as well, yeah. So I'd like to see Aaron. I don't know if we've just naturally transitioned to Aaron Jones, but I'd like to see Aaron Jones on the Steelers just because I think he's a brilliant running back if they keep that offensive line going. But I think 2 of them are potentially free agents, so
they can't afford him. I don't think.
Pouncey, the center's retired, hasn't he, as well?
Yeah.
Steelers. I don't want. If you're going to talk about Aaron Jones, I don't want him going anywhere. I want him to stay with Green Bay. I think Miami would be an interesting landing spot, but as I say, the touchdowns for me are sketchy as hell. And if you move teams, it's not guaranteed.
Yeah, that's fair. Duke Johnson, no one cares about Duke Johnson, do they?
No.
No, I mean, we've all put our bits there where we think it might go.
Fantasy, mine was the Bucks, Jack's was the Patriots, obviously pass catching back.
Yeah.
Tim's was the new team out of New York, the Mets, and Rich is the Dolphins. Tevin Coleman, again, don't really care about him. No, but for fantasy, I've said he goes to the Bills would be interesting, the Niners for Jack, the Niners for Tim, and going back to the Falcons, Rich said.
I don't think that'd be a very good move by the Falcons. To be fair.
Well, it's all dependent. He's a much better outside runner rather than going through the whole. He needs to kind of skip to the outside, and that's just not what we're doing at the moment. James White. Who cares about James White?
I would care if he linked back up with Brady.
Yeah, I think so. I've got him at the Bucks. Jack's got him going to the Bucks, as in the fantasy kind of place we wanted to go. Tim has got the staying at the Patriots, and Rich has got the Bucks. So we're all in line with he's a free agent. He's going to go and team up with Brady again, aren't we? So that's where we're at. Talking about Tom Brady, let's move on to noodle legs. Who cares about Leonard Fournette?
I do.
I've got a lot of shares. I care.
I think Leonard Fournette showed everyone in the playoffs why he was a top 10 running back in the NFL. Well, why he was a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. He's a better running back than Ronald Jones. No one will.
Sorry, that's me banging my head against the table.
You can do it.
Yeah.
You can. I will pre. No one can convince me otherwise.
Did you watch any of the tape in the season? Did you watch any games?
Yes, I did.
How on earth?
Ronald Jones has improved as a running back.
He's better than Leonard Fournette. He looks a lot better than Leonard Fournette.
It's taken, but then he goes and blows a pass blocking assignment, which gets him kicked out the game.
Do you know who's the worst pass blocker than Ronald Jones was the year before? Leonard Fournette.
I'm just telling you, things like that happen with under Bruce Arians.
It doesn't mean he's not. It doesn't mean that Fournette is a better running back than him because he missed one pass block.
Ronald Jones has improved that aspect of his game. Granted, but it's taken him 3 years to do it. I'm just saying, Leonard Fournette in the playoffs showed you why he was a top 10 NFL draft pick, not just anything else. He was a top 10 NFL draft pick. He looked good in the playoffs. And I want him to go back to Tampa. I think that's the best sort of landing spot for him to stay there. I think you've got him going to the Bills, Jamie.
I think it was
the Bills it's an intriguing spot as well. The Bills.
I think with the Bills is obviously they've experimented with Devin Singletary, and to be honest, Devin he looked pretty good not last year. Zach Moss, no, he's done. I've got no time for Zach Moss, and there are lots of talk. I see people saying about the Bills maybe looking to draft another running back. Yeah, let's get another rookie in there. No. My thought is get an experienced vet in there who can do a job. And Leonard Fournette has shown he can do a job, and he showed that in the playoffs. I think that would help the offense if they had someone like a Leonard Fournette or even a Chris Carson, somebody like that, a vet who is just no messing. That will help. I think that will help Josh Allen out a fair bit.
Agreed.
Good. Anyone else on Leonard Fournette? Rich has got him going to not going. For fantasy, he'd like him to go to Miami, which would be interesting as well.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be an interesting landing spot for Fournette.
Yep.
They're drafting a running back. They're going to draft Najee Harris anyway.
Are they?
I'd be very surprised if they don't.
I like it.
At the back end of the draft, they'll draft him.
Yeah. Mike Davis. Does anybody care about Mike Davis?
No.
I would if he. There's a little bit of interest there with me if he goes to the Seahawks.
Yeah and no. I don't know.
The Seahawks before, hasn't he?
I think so. I can't think off the top of my head.
I'm pretty sure he played for the Seahawks and he looked quite good. So he knows the system.
He did all right last year.
He's that sort of runner that they like in Seattle. I just think I would have a little bit of interest. I'm not saying he's going to be an RB1 or an RB2. It's maybe a bye-week flex option, but I would have a little bit of interest if he landed in Seattle.
Yeah. Tim, you've got Bills similar kind of to my Leonard Fournette thinking?
Yeah, exactly that. Just as I don't think they've got faith in Moss for goal line work. Yeah. Really, that's it. That's about it.
Rich has got the Seahawks, same as Jack. I had him just staying at the Panthers. I think he's a good compliment to CMC. I think they will take CMC out of the game a lot, but I think you'll see him if he stays there. They'll use Mike Davis a little bit more because he showed that he can do a job. He's not fancy. Lev Bell, and nobody cares.
No, I don't really care anymore, to be honest.
He didn't really show much. I've got 49ers fantasy. Jack's got the
Ravens.
Yeah, and Tim's got the Ravens as well. Rich doesn't care as anything for him. He didn't put anything. James Conner.
Yeah, there's another one I didn't really care about. I've gone off the boil with James Conner. If anything, I just want him to stay in Seattle, but not Seattle.
Pittsburgh.
With the Steelers, sorry. But yeah, there's not. I won't be drafting James Conner.
No, I think you're taking a real punt if you're drafting James Conner unless it's quite late. Rich has got him going to Seattle is where he would like him in fantasy, which again is it could look pretty good. Tim's got the Dolphins, Jack's got staying at the Steelers, and I've got the Falcons. Just because we need a running back that's better than Todd Gurley. Gus Edwards, he's basically, from what's coming out from the Ravens, they're going to either sign him to a multi-year contract or franchise him, I think. Yeah. So he's staying at the Ravens, which is a real annoyance because I would have liked, as I know the hashtag free Gus, unfortunately he's not going to be freed.
Well, he's going to be, you're going to have a nice 1-2 punch with Dobbins and Gus there now. So he's solid. I think it was the best move for him, to be fair. I'm not. I like these players when they start moving teams. It can really affect their fantasy impact. So a lot of them I like just to see. I like them to stay where they are, basically.
Yeah,
it's difficult to argue against that. I'm as a Falcons fan, I'm gutted because for me when I see Gus Edwards, I see Michael Turner when he was backing up LT. just needed to be given the opportunity, went move teams and absolutely blew the doors off. But that's never going to happen. So Marlon Mack, interesting.
Yes, Marlon Mack is interesting.
I'm really worried about his injury. Like, really, really. Was it an Achilles?
Yes. Can't remember.
It affects so much of that spring, that jump, like forwards, that power forwards. I'm worried what he comes back like. I didn't have many Mac shares, but he is something I'm looking, in any kind of free agency or to pick up as a little bit piece in any part of a trade. Because I'd like to see where he'd go if he's going to basically come into my hands free. And I'd like to see him somewhere as a really good backup. To be honest, I don't think he's going to get the starting job. So, yeah, I'd quite like to see him alongside like Gibson at Washington or at the Raiders, to be honest.
That'd be interesting. I can see that. Rich has got his ideal land sort of fantasies. The Falcons. Tim, you've got the Skins. Jack has got the Jaguars, which would be a nice kind of 1-2 punch with James Robinson, and I've got the Falcons.
I think we've mentioned it as a landing spot for Marlon Mack anyway.
Yeah.
You got to remember a lot of these. Just sorry to button again. A lot of these players, when they do move in free agency, they tend to stay. Well, a lot of them tend to stay within their division, especially in the AFC West. You get a lot of players just moving around in the division because the other coaches know that player. So they've already seen that. They see that player twice a year, every year, in some aspects. So, some of them I do like to, like Marlon Mack, I'd like to see him stay in the AFC South.
Yeah. Jamal Williams. Personally, I think he'll stay with the Packers, and for fantasy, I want him to stay with the Packers because if they get rid of Aaron Jones, then he's going to be used a lot more than he has been, and he's been used a fair bit anyway.
He is great in pass protection.
Jamal
Williams.
He's very, very good. Tim, you've got the Patriots for fantasy.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't really care. And I was just like, what is an organization that seems to buy up pretty average running backs that can add to an overall team play? And I just thought he's the type of player that Bill would love. But he's got a stack of running backs there. So I literally just couldn't think. So I just thought, right, yeah, Pats.
That's fine. Jack, you've got the Falcons.
Yeah, I think the Falcons, well, we've already mentioned the Falcons. They need a running back. Todd Gurley is not the answer. And like I said, with Williams, you get that pass protection. He's excellent in pass protection. And I think that would be a great benefit to the Falcons.
The only difficulty I would say would be he would have to pass protect against 5 defensive linemen because the O-line is not going to stop him.
I just think I don't think he's going to cost a major amount. I think he's one of the better running backs on this list.
Better round. He's a really good all-rounder.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I just think he'd be a great fit for the Falcons. It's we all know Todd Gurley's not the answer there.
Well, Todd Gurley's no. We've talked about Aaron Jones for fantasy. You'd be interested to see him in Miami. Jack has also said Miami. Tim said the Steelers, and Richard said Miami. So it'd be interesting to see how much he gets paid.
Shout out to James Hesseltine. Is it Hesseltine?
Yeah.
Who's just mentioned that I picked up Jamal Williams for a 2023 third, which he thinks was a decent pickup. So. Yeah.
If he stays at the Packers, for example, he's a flex player every week.
Yeah, and he's probably one injury away from being the main overall running back.
But also, I know this might sound, some people might see it as sort of blasphemy here, but if Aaron Jones leaves, isn't Jamal Williams actually the better running back out of him and Dillon?
Dillon is more of the. Dylan's the type of guy you should be using all around the goal line, but just because of the size of him. I'd run it with Dylan 3 times on the goal line.
But yeah, Aaron Rodgers won't. It's Devontae Adams. That's where he goes.
Matt LaFleur won't. Matt LaFleur's a moron. Jamal Williams is the better all-round running back out of the two, though.
Yeah. Chris Carson. Tim, you said Seahawks as fantasy. Tell us why.
Just because he's worked there. Do you know what I mean? From a fantasy point of view, they're a good running team. And I don't have enough shares for him of him to really look at him and go, yeah, I really want him anywhere else, to be honest. I just think it's the perfect position for him. He's not going to want top dollar. He can be as aggressive as he likes. He knows the system. Why change it?
It doesn't sound like they're going to keep him, though. Obviously, which if anyone knows, you boys know, I'm a massive fan of Chris Carson. Huge. I think he's underappreciated, kind of underestimated. No one thinks he's any good. Well, no, sorry. That's the wrong way of saying it. People do think he's good. I just don't think he gets the appreciation that he should do. Jack, you've got him for fantasy. You'd like him to go to the Jags.
Again, just 1-2 punch with James Robinson.
So James Robinson being the number 2, yeah?
Well, Chris Carson's shown us that he's great. He's good in the passing game as well. So
he just needs to stay a bit healthier.
Yeah, he needs to stay a bit healthier. But the problem is with Seattle is that they want that violent runner. They love that. These guys, this is perfect comp for Javonte Williams is Chris Carson. Javonte Williams will be a 5-year running back in the NFL. I would certainly be selling him if you owned him in fantasy after 2 years. He's a violent runner. He's going to get banged up. He's going to get injured. These guys are like that, and that's what Seattle seem to like.
Yes, their kind of running style. Now that Gus Edwards is basically staying in Baltimore, I've got all my chips in the basket of the Falcons going after Chris Carson. just get me Chris Carson. I want him at the Falcons.
So you want another injury-prone running back?
I think he's perfectly fine. I'm not concerned by Chris Carson. I think for fantasy, I want him for the Falcons. I think me saying that where I think he will land as the Falcons is kind of a bit kind of hopey. I think going to the I think there are so many options he can go to because he fits in so many places. So he could go to the Bills, he could go to the Jets, he could go to Miami, he could go to Jacksonville. He kind of fits in most places, if that makes any sense. So I'm really interested to see where he goes. Obviously, I'm more interested to see where Aaron Jones goes, but Chris Carson, I have my eye on because I have a lot of shares of him.
Yeah, just before we move on from the running backs, I'd watch out for Seattle drafting any running back there next year, just because we saw this. I think when Marshawn Lynch retired, they tried like 5 different guys at the position that year. There was like Procise. Who's the other guys there? Thomas Rawls was another one there.
Thomas Rawls. Yeah,
there was a few guys there that just. I'd be very wary of what they do, and unless someone big goes there, then I think I know they can be good for running back Seattle, but I think it'd be unless there's a big free agent that goes there, a big one of these rookies like a Najee Harris or a Javonte Williams goes there, I'd be very wary of the running backs in Seattle.
The Seahawks can't draft. As an organization, they're just awful. So you don't trust anyone they draft.
I think the Seahawks are. I don't think they will. I think they want to give Penny that chance. I also think they've just signed Alex Collins again.
Yeah, this is what I mean. They're doing it again.
Who's really, I think, is a good running back.
Yeah, but this is what they're doing again, Jamie. This is what I'm saying. They're doing it. You got like 5 different guys there, and you've just mentioned 3 of them. You get this guy's good. This guy's good. It's very similar to what happened when Marshawn Lynch retired, and I just think unless someone big name goes there, I'd be very wary of Seattle for running backs this year.
Be interesting to see what they do. especially with Ross as well.
Yeah.
Let's go wide receivers. Tim Patrick, we've all got basically staying at the Denver. So, Jack, is Tim Patrick a top 50 wide receiver?
Well, yeah. I don't care.
I'm just asking a question.
Yes, he is, but I don't care. I don't want him in my rosters.
He's not a dynasty top 50.
No.
He's 27. He finished 40th last year. Would you take? I'll say one thing. If Tim Patrick's on your waivers, go and pick him up for fuck's sake. Just go and pick him up because he will play 5 or 6 games for you in the season. I guarantee you it. Guaranteed. AJ Green. Does anyone care about AJ Green? He's old.
No, AJ Green's done it.
He can't run anymore.
He's lost it. Tim's got him going to the XFL.
He's a fantastic player.
Oh, yeah. He was.
But he's done.
Yeah.
By the way, Julio Jones is him in 2 years. Yeah.
Wait and see. We'll wait and see. Allen Robinson, franchise tagged. He's not getting anywhere, is he?
No.
Yes, he's been franchise tagged, doesn't he? Yeah.
So Jack wanted him at the Giants.
Well, you say he's not going anywhere. He's saying he won't play under the franchise tag. So
you wait until they tell him he's not getting any money.
Yeah, but
money.
But we've seen guys before not play under the franchise tag.
It's changed though, hasn't it? The rule: if you don't play, you don't get paid,
and you don't get a year of your pension or something like that. I don't know. It's something weird.
It'd be interesting. I don't think. I mean, I think everyone wanted to see Allen Robinson on a team with a decent quarterback. It's a shame.
You put here that you'd like to see for fantasy. You want to see him with the Giants. What I will say is that we want him to go. If he goes to the Giants, he'll be playing with the worst quarterback he's ever played with. No.
Oh
no. There's a question.
He's not worse than Mitch Trubisky or Blake Bortles. Don't. No. Daniel Jones ain't on that
fantasy.
Level.
Is he?
No, mate. Daniel Jones is not on that level.
No. I know he's not that good.
I'm not saying he's a good quarterback by any means. But look, again, you're going back to that. These are all good players, but I'm not saying he's elite or anything. Daniel Jones.
Give me Allen Robinson with Mitch Trubisky at the Bears over Allen Robinson and Daniel Jones.
Yeah, of course, because you've got that connection.
Yeah, that's the reason. That's why I want him to stay at the Bears. But as you say, if he's saying he's not going to play, that'll be interesting.
He's come out and said that he won't play under the franchise tag.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone believe him?
I do.
No, I don't. It's just money. That's the only reason I don't believe him. He might not want to be there, but what the franchise money for the wide receivers is probably a fair amount. It's like top 3, isn't it? The average of the top 3 or something.
Yeah.
So he'll be getting his bread. Let's put it that way. T.Y. Hilton. Does anybody care about T.Y. Hilton? Is he now washed?
There was signs at certain points last year. Tim's celebrating about something. I don't know.
Liverpool have obviously scored, I'm guessing, if he's celebrating.
Yeah.
There was signs last year. I dropped T.Y. Hilton in a lot of leagues last year. I think the time has come to do that in any dynasty league with T.Y. Hilton. But the only thing I'd like to see him back at the Colts, but that's about it.
Yeah, Jack, you've got him fantasy back at the Colts. Tim's got him at the Chiefs.
Why wouldn't you want any wide receiver at the Chiefs?
The thing is, if they get rid of Sammy Watkins, bringing in someone like a T.Y. Hilton, experienced, isn't a bad move.
It's cheap.
You'd think so. You definitely would. Rich has got him at the Colts. I've got him going to the Jags, as in for fantasy. I just think maybe a vet presence at the Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence would probably help, I reckon. Golden Tate. Anybody care about Golden Tate? Is he in the same boat as T.Y. Hilton? Is he fallen off the cliff?
Worst boat.
Sorry, button, Jamie. Ravens have given Gus Edwards the second round tender, so another team can offer a second round pick to
go and do it.
Yeah,
I would. Falcons go and do it.
You'd give a second.
Maybe not an early second. I would want to trade back in the second.
It would be your second. You're picking like fourth in the draft. So it'd be the 204.
What I said, if you listen, I said if we can trade back in the second, I would pay a back end of the second for it.
You would give up the 36th pick in the draft to get him.
No, for the third time, I would give up a pick at the back end of the second if we could trade back.
This is where Jamie Byram's not a GM.
The majority of running backs, I think the only running back that doesn't go, I think Najee Harris is the only running back that could go in the
first round.
Yeah. The rest go from 2 onwards. So picking up Gus Edwards for any rookie running back, I think is a terrible move.
Yep.
Gus Edwards will
second round tender. I think he's awful.
You think it's awful or he's awful?
No, but that's why they put that.
I don't think it makes good business sense to pick. I mean, you wouldn't
give up the 60th pick for Gus Edwards.
No.
But that's why they put that second round pick on him, because no team's going to do it.
Well, they put that on him because they don't want to lose him because they know he's that good.
Oh, God. Right, let's move on. We're on the wide receivers. Come on.
Sammy Watkins, anyone care?
No.
We've all got him staying at the Chiefs for fantasy.
Yeah, do not care.
Adam Humphries, anybody care about Adam Humphries?
No.
I've got so many shares. I should care, but no.
Don't care.
He was interesting when he first joined Tennessee, and then last year with all those concussions, didn't help. Rich has got him going to the Giants for fantasy. Tim's got him going to the Patriots.
Oh, I hope he don't go to the Giants.
Receiver, what a shocker!
I hope he don't go to the Giants. We don't need another slot guy.
Jack has got the Saints, and Adam Humphrey, I've got him going to the Giants as a replacement for Golden Tate.
I'd rather have Golden Tate back. Jesus.
Really?
Yeah, I would.
Again, have you ever seen Adam Humphries play when he's healthy?
Yes.
He's fantastic, isn't he?
That's why I've got so many shares.
He's got concussion. He's got concussion issues. Oh my God! I don't think you realise how bad. I don't think you realise how bad concussions are for these players. Literally, some of these players, like Jordan Reed, is a prime example. That guy is like one concussion away from being totally done in the NFL.
So's Brandon Cooks, but he posted a top 20 season last year and was bloody amazing.
They do, but that one bang, that's it. No, I don't want Adam Humphries on the Giants. Let's move on.
No, I'm me and Tim want to talk about Adam Humphries.
I'm all in for Adam Humphries. I've got about 12 guys.
Why? We're nearly an hour already. We're going to be here all night talking about fucking Adam Humphries.
I like Adam Humphries when he's fit.
When he's healthy, Adam Humphries is a very good wide receiver.
Lovely. Move on.
Marvin Jones.
I've got him going back to the Lions. Other than that, I don't care.
Yeah, same.
I've got him going to the Rams. Teaming back up with, even though they've got no money, teaming back up with Stafford. Brashard Perryman, anybody care?
I don't care. Jack's head's gone.
Jack cared enough to put him down, going to the staying.
I hope he goes back to the Jets. I hope he stays there.
I've got the Texans replacing Will Fuller. Corey Davis, he's shit. Anybody care?
Oh, you're not shit.
Fuck off, he's shit.
I'm doing that to wind Jack up.
Fuck off.
I'm doing that to wind Jack up.
Well, you're working, mate. Fuck off, he's shit. Oh, mate.
Tim, I've got a big one. Mate.
Absolutely. Is Whaley back on?
That's it. I'm leaving. I'm going. I'm shutting the stream down.
Oh.
Why do you want him at the Patriots? For fantasy.
There you go, look.
No one's sane. No one's sane.
Actually, Alan, the Eagles would. But there you go.
The Eagles would. The Eagles would, actually. After using all the picks on tight ends before that.
Yeah, especially Cole Pitts.
Jack, you've got him going to the Patriots. Tim's got him staying at the... he wants him to stay at the Titans.
Can I say why? Because last year, Corey Davis was free from a fantasy point of view. He was on waivers. and he was picked up in trade deals for nothing, and he was really, really fantasy relevant.
Middle of the third, I paid rookie pick for him.
Yeah, I mean, I got him in a straight deal involving 2 other wide receivers as just like a complimentary piece for me. And he was really, really fantasy relevant in that scheme, in that system. So I just want that to continue. I just want the same, to be honest.
Yeah, it'd be good for them to keep it all together, wouldn't it? I suspect they're letting Johnny Smith go. So losing Davis would be interesting for them, let's put it that way. Will Fuller, we've all got him for fantasy. We want him to stay with the Texans.
Yep.
I put the Texans for the simple reason that I basically want him anywhere that Deshaun Watson goes or is.
Yes.
And I don't think Deshaun Watson's going anywhere.
I want him to tag Deshaun Watson, or I want him alongside Aaron Rodgers.
Or Chiefs. if I could put any wide receiver to go there, even though the share will dramatically decrease, he's just still going to be good.
Yeah.
I love Will Fuller.
Yeah, so do I.
I do want him near Deshaun Watson, but if the Texans are going to be as bad as they probably could be this year, I don't want him to be there. I don't want Deshaun there. I don't want Fuller there.
Just keep Deshaun and Will Fuller together. Whatever happens, if you trade for Deshaun Watson, make sure Will Fuller's chucked in.
Yeah.
Whoever's trading for Watson. Antonio Brown. We've all got the Bucks. We all want him to stay there. Yeah.
He will.
Yeah.
He'll take less money as well, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's Tom Brady, isn't it?
Yeah.
Curtis Samuel. I've got him fantasy. I want him to stay in the Panthers. Jack's got him he wants to stay in the Panthers. Tim's got him wants to stay in the Panthers, and Rich has got the Redskins. Why the Panthers, boys?
I'm just Jack didn't put the Giants.
I like players staying where they. I like Curtis Samuel a lot. I just like players staying where they are for fantasy most of the time. I don't like them going elsewhere, learning a new system and things like that. The Packers would be interesting. If he went to the Packers, I'd be very, very intrigued.
Yeah, I think he probably stays at the Panthers. That's why I want him to stay for fantasy. I thought the 49ers would be interesting because they're like a shifty little wide receiver, don't they? They've got Debo, they've got Ayuk as well.
Too many. Just
gadget
basket there.
But it's Kyle Shanahan. It's what he does, isn't it? I'm not sure he will go there, but I think it would be an interesting one.
It's a really interesting spot, to be honest. I hadn't thought about the Niners. The reason I kept him at the Panthers is I liked that he was used in the run game. I liked that he was used in really, really interesting, intricate plays. And that's why I didn't put him at the Giants, because he wouldn't be used as a running back. He wouldn't be used as a running back in the Packers. So for me, I think the fact that he can do a couple of roles and do them really, really well. I mean, he did some great goal line stuff last year as well. Yeah. Like, that's what you want to see. You want to see him doing interesting stuff, but you want him to be part of the offense a lot. And my biggest worry with any gadget player is that they're just used in really trick plays and they're not used in general every play schemes. That's my worry. That's
mainly why I said the 49ers were my main guess, just because they do that. One thing I will say about Curtis Samuel, and I'll be interested to see what you boys think, I really think he's going to be overdrafted this year.
Curtis Samuel?
Yeah.
I don't really think you can.
I think he's rising. Especially from moves.
Nah, I don't see it. I didn't see enough production last year to have him anywhere that's going to be classed as an overtake.
I think there are enough Curtis Samuel's truthers. I see enough of them on Twitter. I know, and I think that I'm not saying that he can't do really well, but is he a wide receiver 2? Is he a top 24 wide receiver next year? I don't think so.
No, he's not a wide receiver, but he's a wide receiver 3.
Juju.
Oh.
I want him to go to the Jags Jack has got him wanting to go to the Jags. Rich has got him wanting to go to the Jags, and Tim has got him going to the Packers for fantasy. Why do you want him at the Packers?
Just because I think he was an exceptional wide receiver 2, and I think he's a good wide receiver 1. And alongside a Devontae, he'd be incredible.
Do you not think he would eat into, for example, Robert Tonyan a little bit?
I don't really care about Robert Tonyan. I just think when we've all loved the Packers for fantasy, they had two bona fide wide receiver 1 production for fantasy, even though they didn't play in wide receiver 1. So you had the likes of Randall Cobb produced year in, year out next to Jordy Nelson. Like you've got people who you can play in, and you know both are going to produce each game in, game out. And what I didn't see from Robert Tonyan, and I've never seen from Aaron Rodgers with a tight end, is him using that tight end explicit game in, game out.
I agree with what you're saying about the Packers and Jordy Nelson and Cobb and Jennings and so what. The thing that kind of springs to my mind is different systems, different coaches. It'll be interesting to see. I think if the Packers don't re-sign Aaron Jones, I think they will make a splash at wide receiver.
I'd like them to do it. I think they go wide receiver in the draft, to be honest.
Good, very good wide receiver draft.
Yeah.
Bateman would be very interesting. Bateman for the Packers would be a very, very interesting landing spot.
Yeah, I heard you say that on the Devi pod.
Yeah.
Jamie, just unplug your headphones for a sec.
I'm hearing the same thing.
How's it?
Now I hear it.
God, don't do that ever again.
Yeah, put it back in.
Nelson Aguilar.
Raiders.
XFL.
Really?
Nah, if you stay,
He was really good last year.
Yeah, I know, but again, how dirty did you feel putting Aguilar in any kind of lineup? Like you felt like you had to go for a shower afterwards. Honestly, like he was decent last year, but I mean, I just don't. I don't care. He's just not that good.
You know, I mentioned it earlier about players staying within their division.
Yeah.
You see, I put the Chargers. I think that'd be an interesting landing spot for Aguilar.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
You haven't even got. I don't think you got Mark Williams on this list, Jamie. He's a free agent.
Is he?
He's a free agent, Mark Williams.
Oh, I hope he doesn't leave.
So
I don't care about Mike Williams. I must have missed him.
No, but you care about Tim Patrick and
I care about obviously was confused.
and Adam fucking Humphreys.
Yeah. Kenny Golladay. This is an interesting one. No, I want him to go somewhere where he's going to be good.
He's going to be good. He'll be the wide receiver 1 on the Giants. For God's sake, he will be good.
Who's throwing him the ball?
I don't care. He will be Daniel Jones has not had an alpha wide receiver in his whole NFL career.
That's not going to help Daniel Jones.
He needs that alpha 1 wide receiver. And he's not had it in his NFL career. You can't keep fucking...
If he goes to the Giants, he drops a lot in my rankings.
You can't keep patch jobbing the fucking wide receiver core there with slot guys like they keep doing.
Is there a reason they patch it with slot guys? No.
Because they're fucking idiots.
Quarterback?
No, because they're idiots. Dave Gettleman is a moron. That's why. Fuck off. And you want Adam Humphries to go there. Fucking hell.
Well, you've just literally said that they pad them with slot guys, and I've just said I want a slot guy to go there. So yeah.
Exactly. We don't need that. We do not need that. We need a Kenny Golladay or an Allen Robinson.
I
That's
think
it.
I'm trying to work out whether I'd rather Golladay go to the Ravens where they won't throw the ball at all.
And we have the cap. We have the cap.
Will he get more points? All right. So Jack's got him Giants. You reckon he'll stay at the Lions? Giants second choice, but for fantasy, you wanted the Giants. Tim, you Jags.
Yeah, just because I didn't want Juju to go there.
Rich has got an interesting one though. He can't talk for himself though. He's got the Bengals as for fantasy. Imagine,
I like the Bengals receivers.
Green.
I like the Bengals receivers as they are if AJ Green fucks off. I like Higgins. I like Boyd. Just don't.
Like all Tate.
Yeah, I do. As a third, I don't see anything wrong with him. I'd rather they just spent money elsewhere. That O-line, just chuck money at it, get a tight end. Like that's what I'd do. Just don't bother with your wide receivers are good. Just don't mess about.
That's fair. I've got the Colts, which I think would be quite interesting. They've got Paris Campbell, who was injured most of last year. They've got Pittman, showed flashes. Sorry, Rich. She did show flashes. He didn't explode. And with the potential that T.Y. Hilton's out the door, why not go and get your new quarterback, a shiny new wide receiver in Kenny Golladay? I think that'd be.
Quarterback's not that good.
I know he's not, but he's still better than.
I don't hate it. I really don't hate it. To be fair, I think we go tight end, which I'll come on to later on.
Yeah. Josh Reynolds, does anybody care?
No.
I Saints with them letting go of Emmanuel Sanders. Thought fantasy would be interesting. Jack's got staying at the Rams. Tim's staying at the Rams, and Rich has going to Miami. Chris Godwin, he's been franchise tagged. He's not going anywhere.
No,
good,
and that's the best option. Chris
Alan Lazard.
I don't really care about Alan Lazard. Packers or I don't give a toss.
Yeah, we all think our first choice. We think he will stay with the Packers. I've got fantasy. I think the Eagles because they just don't have any good wide receivers, and Alan Lazard could be something good. You boys have all said the Packers. While I do this, talk to me about a wide receiver who was released today, Emmanuel Sanders. Should we care? Has he got anything left in the tank?
Really good. I thought he was really good for the Saints.
Yeah, I'm surprised they've released him.
Starting it.
It's money. It's all about money. Where do you think he'll land? He's not on our list. Up there.
Could very well go back to San Francisco. You mentioned that they was drafting, picking up free agent wide receivers. Maybe.
Yeah.
I'll tell you where he goes. He goes to Giants.
I'll tell you one thing about Sanders. I got absolutely slated for saying that when he joined the 49ers, that for fantasy he was dead. I got slated for it.
Shock horror.
Yeah. And shock horror, he was dead for fantasy when he joined the 49ers. So I don't want him to go back to the 49ers. I'd love him to go to the Giants.
I'd love him to go to the Giants.
I hope he goes to the Falcons.
That's fine. Yeah. We can't afford him, mate. We've got no money.
We've got no O-line either.
No, we don't. But we've got a quarterback. That's all that matters.
You'll have two.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm more than happy over two.
Yeah.
You can sit Trey Lance, sit him for a year. That'll do. Tight ends. Hunter Henry hasn't been franchise tagged by the Archers. Were you guys surprised he wasn't? I wasn't massively surprised.
Not really.
No, his injury history was too bad. He'd spent too much money for half seasons, to be honest. So it's a good draft for tight ends as well. So I think they'll just use a bit of capital and pick up a decent one in the third or something.
It's Donald Parham.
Said with Alan the other day. Tight ends are a bit like running backs. I don't think you should be paying tight ends unless they're
Tony Gonzalez or
Caliber. Yeah, like of someone of that caliber. I just don't think you should be paying tight ends because I think you can go and look at Jordan Reed. He was good for the Niners last year when he came in for George Kittle. We're going to get down to him in a minute. Trey Burton was good at the times last year.
Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, just people like this. You don't pay this unless the tight end that you've got is absolutely elite, like a Gronk or a Tony Gonzalez.
I've got him for fantasy. I want to go to the Colts. Tim has got the Colts as well. Jack has got the Jags, and Rich has got the Jags. So Tim, Colts, fantasy.
Yeah, I just think the whole Doyle, like Ebron, Burton, I think they're just going to go, do you know what? We've got a good O-line. If we add a good blocking tight end who can really, really produce and beat another target while we phase out a T.Y. Hilton, I think they'll splash in that area. I think it works. It boosts that O-line, boosts the running game, and I think, just go and make that splash play. And I can see them doing it with him or someone else. They might make a trade for an Ertz.
Yeah.
Like, I can just see that happening.
Yeah. Gronk, he stayed at the Bucks. I don't think we really care about it, do we? Not until the playoffs, anyway.
No.
Tyler Eifert, no one really cares about Tyler Eifert.
No.
He could end up in Dallas just because of family connections and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I can see.
I've got him as a fantasy for landing at the Titans if they're letting go of part of a committee, obviously, if they're going to let go of not re-sign Johnny. Jack's got the Bengals, going back to the Bengals, and Rich has got the Colts. Jacob Hollister is not really important, but he showed flashes when he was given the opportunity. No one really cares about him, do they?
No.
Now, James Hesseltine has mentioned Traquan Smith as a sleeper. Yeah, I think he is. I think him and Harris and the Saints are decent sleepers to have kicking about.
Even Marquez Callaway as well.
Yep. And Alan said, F&L, you're still going.
This is a family show, but all right.
We've sworn enough times, and that was me not swearing.
We haven't sworn multiple times. We keep Anyway, move on. Fantasy-wise, for him, for Hollister, I said the Bengals, Jack said the Patriots, and Tim's just saying stay at the Seahawks. Interesting one, and I know some people might not find this, but Gerald Everett, do you guys have got any thoughts on him?
I've got too many shares of Gerald Everett. I just want something. I don't care what it is or where it is. I just want something.
All right. Well, you've got it. You want him to stay at the Rams.
I'm surprised. Yes, because he was Sean McVay's first ever NFL draft pick,
and he was a second-round pick, wasn't he?
Yep.
But then he took him out for Higbee, and then last year did nothing with either of them, and didn't even throw it to Cooper Kupp. I don't even know what happened last year, so it's just infuriating.
Can I say something unpopular?
Why break a habit?
Gerald Everett's a better tight end than Tyler Higbee.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Not just me then.
Yeah. I hate Tyler Higbee.
I don't like him either. I've got him for fantasy. I'd like him to go to the Cardinals.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
Jack's got the Colts. Timbo, you have the Rams, and Rich also has the Cardinals. That'll be an interesting one. I think that'll be a kind of a sleeper move, I think, to see. Trey Burton, anyone really care?
No. I see him at the Saints.
Yeah, Tim thinks the Saints. Jack thinks the Colts. I've got the Jags, and Rich has got going back to the Eagles. Fantasy, that's what we'd want. Jonnu Smith.
Just don't leave.
He's going.
I know.
So heartbroken.
Staying within the division. So I've gone. I know I've got Cardinals would be a nice position. For him to land, but he could go to. There's a number of places he could go. He could go to the Colts. He could,
Or the Jags. Colts, Jags, interesting, and Cardinals and the Saints. To be honest, Rich has got a good one. I quite like actually.
The Panthers. Need a tight end. Yeah, they need a tight end.
I think that's an interesting one. I didn't really think about the Panthers and what they've got. They've got Ian Thomas, so they need a tight end. Jordan Reed, again, is it?
Don't really care.
don't really care. But for fantasy, Jack, you thought Jets would be interesting. Tim,
Well, they did tighten, didn't they? The Jets.
stay at the Niners. Rich has got Panthers, and I've got stay at the 49ers. Last but not least, Bobby Tonyan. Everyone bar Tim has decided where they want for fantasy. We've all said the Packers. Just keep him where he is.
Yeah, I probably meant to put the Packers. I just didn't type it.
Because you don't care about Bobby Tonyan.
I don't.
No, we knew it. So that is everything. What I'll do is I'll put a if anyone, there might be maybe one person who actually cares where we think they're going to go. I'll put a link out on Twitter to the spreadsheet so people can have a look. And also what we'll do is when free agency, just before the season starts, we'll come back to this and just tally it up.
Yeah.
So shouldn't be too bad.
That
was a nice short one.
Well, yeah, it's, you got me going a bit there, but
it's all fun.
Jamie, got anything else that you'd like to discuss? You had a good week. Anything,
Isabel can now say mummy. There you go.
That's important, mate.
So she can say mummy, daddy, car key, oh no, oh dear, just a little bit, and no, very, very sternly. So yeah.
Spin their toes and fuck off back. then you got issues, mate.
I'll send it you actually, and you can figure out what Caleb's saying because it sounds like he's saying, "Oh shit." What he actually, because he's pointing to stuff, and we think it's what is it? What's it like that? But yeah, it sounds like oh shit. Mate, I don't even know what day it is. Every day is the same. Get me out this lockdown. Just let me out the house. Let me out. I'm done.
Tim, you do realise that you can go out of the house.
Oh, just get me somewhere where I can sit and talk to somebody like face to face properly. Like I don't care if it's a pub. I don't care if it's a coffee shop. Just get me somewhere that isn't these four walls.
So what Tim is initially saying is he wants to meet people in car parks.
I will actively sign up to anywhere that does dogging. I don't care.
What again?
Again. I'll need a new username.
Whaley 123. Whaley big deal.
Whaley West Ham.
Like I said to you boys, I've been watching Sons of Anarchy. I'm on series 4 near enough. Yeah, I'm addicted to that. That is it took me a while because I tried to watch it about 2 or 3 years ago, couldn't get into it, and then I'm now absolutely addicted to it.
It's unreal TV, and Line of Duty's back this coming week.
Lovely stuff. You can find us on Twitter at kickers_matter. Our website is kingfantasysports.com/kickersmatter. But yeah, everyone, cheers for joining us. We're sorry we went for like an hour and 20 minutes.
50.
Yeah.
We're not sorry.
Well,
we just love talking.
We're sorry you have to put up with Jamie Byram, but it is what it is. And we do have some news coming very soon. So watch this space.
Ooh.